Welcome back to the Sunday Footy Show. What are you doing, Bill?
No, I just had to go to the toilet. Oh, it's been a big segment. I had a lot of water and I just couldn't. I was busting. Are we on?
Yeah, we are, as a matter of fact. Anyway, and now Damien Barrett, being a journalist, is always in need of good leaks, but just be careful on him over there. Now, of course, we spoke a little earlier on about the draw that was last night, and of course, this was in front of no fans whatsoever as we take a look at the scores, and they just couldn't be split, could they? Hawthorn 12-7 to Melbourne's 11-13. And Kane, we have a very, very special guest joining us, emanating from that particular clash, and I think it only fitting that you welcome him.
Oh, let's do that, TJ, because he was enormous. He had 39, 22 kicks, highest metres gained on the ground. He's a Brownlow medalist, Tom Mitchell. Tom, thanks so much for your time.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
I wanted to have a chat to you because last week I looked at your game and I thought some of you, or a lot of your disposals, were ineffective. And how you address your game and how you review your game, considering you're going to get 40 most games each week. How did you look at last week, and was that criticism too harsh?
Yeah, I think, as a player, you try and block out the criticism as much as you can. Obviously, it's always going to come, especially, when the team isn't going so well. So I sort of have some processes that I focus on every week that don't really waver. And, I think last night our midfield did a really good job, obviously coming up against one of the best midfields in the league, and Gawn, Petraka, Oliver, Viney, those types. So we had our work cut out for us, but I think the boys did a really good job.
Can I ask you about those processes with your game? Like, what are the KPIs that you look at? Because, as I said, you're going to get plenty of it every week.
Yeah, my processes are not normally, anything to do with numbers or anything. It's more of things around like how quick my feet are moving, certain things around my reaction times either way. Obviously work around the contest, which is, something that has been probably a strength as well over my career. But they're probably the three main ones. If they're normally going well for me, it's normally a good thing for myself and the team.
Tom, you got off to a slow start as a side, but you finished really, really strongly. I want to go through the dying stages of the match last night, because you must be wrapped, though. You look at some of these names: Granger, Barrass, Greaves, Reeves, Brockman, Jekka, Newcombe, and to perform that way against the top side after a disappointing week last week, you must have been ecstatic with that.
Yeah, it was we had some more senior experience go out of the team with Blake Hardwick's been out a lot. DJ, make an argument that our starting back six are pretty much out of the team.
OK, well, look, we're just having a bit of trouble there with the Zoom connection there to Tom Mitchell. We'll re-establish that particular link, though. So, but what he was saying essentially was,
the young players are going really well, and they set up a game plan last night. The tackle pressure, 81 tackles. We don't see a lot of tackle pressure like that this year. There's been a lot of uncontested football, but I thought they brought their A game with tackle. That's probably the only way they're going to beat Melbourne last night, was the tackle pressure. Tom himself had 10 intercept possessions, the most on the ground last night, which is a great effort, Kane.
Yeah, and I thought his pressure, Brownie, so often we don't look at sort of pressure points and pressure ratings and what does it mean, but he had 91, which was about 30 more than the next best on the ground. So Melbourne were terrific. Lord, I want to get your thoughts just quickly on Melbourne. They have lost to Adelaide now, who are they're bottom of the ladder. Collingwood bottom 4. They lost to the Giants, not in the top 8, and they've drawn against Hawthorn, who was 17th. I mean, is it a mental issue that they do really struggle to get themselves up and motivate themselves for some games?
Oh, I think it has to be, Kane. For sure. I think it has to be mental, because they're so good against the top sides. But I want to talk to you, Tom. It's great that you're back with us. Luke Bruce. You've played with some great players over your time, but he's still doing amazing things after 3 premierships.
Yeah, Punk, he's been a special player for a long time, coming off the rookie list. To manage to do what he's been able to do, it's been pretty special, and you can pretty much rely on him to kick a few goals every week. And obviously, you mentioned pressure before. When his pressure's on, he normally flourishes as well. So, he was crucial last night. Obviously, kicked the goal to tie it up for us, and he's also helping out young Tyler Brockman, who's going to be a star of the future as well.
Tom, Billy Brownless and Damien Barrett were mentioning a little earlier about your coach, Alistair Clarkson, and the fact that he's just coaching so well at the moment in recent weeks in particular. Have you noticed a change in him at all since his future was clarified, at least with Hawthorn?
Oh, not in the way that he carries himself. I think the way that he lives his life, the values he carries, he sets the example for us players. He's such a great person and mentor, coach. You know, he's been so good to all of us, really. The only change I would say is post-bye, I think, just in the way that we've approached games in terms of our game style. So we changed some things in terms of how we wanted to defend more collectively as a team, and I think that's really helped us, you know, in the way we're playing the last probably 6 weeks.
Tom, sometimes people think you play a lone hand in that midfield. You've got Jager O'Meara. James Worpel came out, one of best and fairest. His form has been inconsistent this year. I thought last night was his best game this year. Where is he at and how good can he be?
Yeah, Warp's had a great game last night. I think, you know, obviously he won a best and fairest in his second year, so he's clearly got some talent there, and he's got the work ethic to go with it. So I think it's only natural for a young player to go through some ebbs and flows. You know, he's played some really good footy, and then probably had some games that, you know, he would probably say would be a little bit inconsistent, but that's only natural for a young player. He's a leader of our young group, and I think he's going to be a good player for the future.
Hey, Tommy, run us through this haircut, will you? Show us too, please. We want to have a good look at this haircut. Look at that. That was all for last night.
That's the Dusty.
At least you got hair, I suppose, Tommy, but it is red. Hey, tell us about ball magnets.
Yeah, ball magnets. It's a training app basically. So designed it with Paddy Cripps and Lachie Neale last year when COVID hit, and basically it's a bit of fun, but also we sort of teach our knowledge of the game to kids who are aspiring at whatever level they are, and it's basically to try and give back, really. So
good on you,
yeah, I
Tom.
think it's especially important to help the kids during lockdown. I know when I was a kid, I always wanted to train with the AFL players, so that's sort of the intention. And
you probably did.
The kids like it.
You probably did train with the AFL with the old man Banger, didn't you?
Yeah, Greg Williams.
Banging used to get me down to Carlton when I was a young fella. So I was a pretty lucky kid training with the likes of Cooter back in his heyday. So it was always good fun.
And Greg Williams, of course, still a very good mentor of yours. Now, speaking of good mates, have you got one of your best mates there with you, have you?
Oh.
I've got a few dogs rolling around here, but no, Macy. Yeah, just sitting in the backyard. They're floating around. They're good company because there's obviously not much you can do in lockdown. So
yeah, I can see them clamouring over you.
Yeah, they love you.
Oh, here we go. There. Oh, yeah, look. How many you
bit of
got?
TV time. I got two.
Oh,
There's
dogs.
one around here. Sorry, there's my brother as well.
Oh, plenty.
2 dogs.
Why do you ask, Tony?
And Tom, you're best man on the ground last night. Congratulations. You get the 9 votes from me, and then obviously some dominant midfielders for the Melbourne as well. Petrarca, Oliver, Worpel could have been in there, but Luke Bruce, I loved what he does for the Hawks in the forward line as well.
We've got some prizes for you, Tommy. Don't worry about that. The Callaway Chrome Soft golf balls there, and the Odyssey Tour towel. You'll love that, my friend. Travis Matthew, 4 Travis Matthew caps. They'll keep a lid on it. The Aquila shoes and clothing been great sponsors of ours for a long, long time. Look at that. Oh, I like those white shoes. I might get some, Luca, after this. Bar Fridges from Bar Fridges Australia. They're the best in the business. They are magnificent. Couple of frothies in there for you, Tommy. The Ricks Eyewear, use the code word CHOMPERS at rickseyewear.com.au for a 20% discount. Platform 28, not open at the minute, unfortunately, but when it opens, it is magnificent. And look at this, the custom fire pit. It'll look good in the backyard there, mate, thanks to AMFX. That is magnificent, 100% Australian made. All for you, Thomas. Thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Nah, thanks, Bill. It's probably the last haircut I've got left in me, so I'll be looking like you pretty soon.
Because the feathers were going back a bit, weren't they? They were.
Good work, Tom. Thanks very much, mate. Tom Mitchell joining us there.